Halfway through season 2, can't stop now. We're almost there. The light at the end of the tunnel is finally visible. So we're at episode 7, the dimensional Shambler. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this sculpt. I think that they made it a little too humanoid. It almost looks kind of like the Incredible Hulk. I think it should have looked more monstrous, more alien, more... I don't know. It just looks like a big muscly man. So this isn't my favorite sculpt. It's probably actually one of my least favorites in the box. Good news is it doesn't take a whole lot of time to paint, doesn't use a whole lot of colors. So let's go ahead and jump in and get this out of the way. And here we've got Big Boy, 100% coverage gray. And we're going to do a 3-to-1 blend of howling sand and ochre clay for his skin color. If you want to keep it simple, you could just use malignant green. It is very, very close, and I didn't realize it until I was pretty much done with the model. So your mileage may vary, but I used a 3-to-1 blend of howling sand and ochre clay. You could get away with just malignant green if you wanted to, I think. They're very, very similar. And you're going to paint this whole model with that color with the exception of his tentacles, and you're going to try to avoid as many of the crystals sticking out of him as you can, but if you hit him, it's no big deal. Get his face, all of it. Big bristly brush, make your life easy. I'm going to come in with some matte white, and I'm going to pick out all of my mistakes because I definitely hit a lot of those crystals. But even if you didn't hit the crystals, I wanted to brighten them up anyway. You're going to want to brighten them up anyway. So I recommend, mistakes or not, you go ahead and hit these crystals with the matte white acrylic. Or any white that you have, any white that you like, totally fine. We're going to take some aged hide, and we're just going to run it over his mouth. Get them teethies and all that good stuff. Now we're going to take some blinding light and peachy flesh, and we're going to mix those two colors together in a 1-to-1 ratio. 1-to-1 ratio. And we're going to go ahead and cover the tentacles with that color. I know it may not look like it. I promise you there's paint on my brush, and it is ending up on those tentacles. It's super light. It's intentional. I did it on purpose. You can kind of see it better now. Be very generous with this, though. You do want to go kind of heavy with it. You want to make sure you have that full coverage. You want to make sure that the color is sticking out, mild though it may be. Just get all those tentacles with it. Now at the base of the tentacles, you're just going to take straight aged hide, that same aged hide we used on his mouth. And hopefully while these are still wet, you're going to blend that aged hide up the tentacles just a little bit. You're not going to go too far up, just a little bit. And you're going to do the same thing here, except he's got like those sleeves for the tentacles up here. So you're just going to hit the aged hide on those sleeves. And then right around the base there, you're going to hit the aged hide. then I'm doing another coat of the tentacle color because it just wasn't quite bright enough for my liking. So second coat created just that little bit extra that I was looking for. Same thing on the bottom here. You're just going to rim the bottom with pure aged hide. And I'm going to hit it with another coat, and I'm hitting these tentacles with another coat. Because I really wanted to make sure that that light color showed up. And we're even going to hit his nails with that same color, that 1-to-1 peachy flesh, blinding light. Going to get the nails too. It's a very desaturated color. Works nicely. Get his toenails, his fingernails, his claws, if you prefer. And we're going to take this pastel indigo now, and now that those crystals have had time to dry after that matte white, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit every single crystal with the pastel indigo. Every single one. Every crystal sticking out of his body, you're going to go ahead and you're going to hit with this color. It is very tedious. But this is also why the pastel indigo is an incredibly light color. It's very desaturated, even though it's pastel. So hitting it with the white first really creates a nice contrast for these crystals. And progress report, he's going to look like this at this stage. Pretty dang cool. And now we're going to take some ancient stone, and I'm going to pick out the teeth on his face. Just little dabs of paint. Let the paint do the work. Dab, 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 tap, tap, tap. Be gentle. Black out the base, and if you followed along, boom, there's our big beefy boy. Gorgeous. And there he is, the Incredible Hulk. I mean, the Dimensional Shambler, all painted up in his glory. Again, not a big fan of this model. I've painted it a few different ways. This is not my first time painting these sets for Cthulhu Death May Die, and every single time I paint it, it doesn't do it for me. Let me know down below what you think of this sculpt, what you think of this model. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to talk about all the sculpts, really. How do you think they did bringing some of these creatures to life in this box? I know they went really out there in some of these designs, and then in other designs, I thought they reeled them too close in. Anyway, that's my tangent for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, all that YouTube stuff. I am just absolutely tanking in the algorithm. I don't have a big audience, so every bit of interactivity does help me out. It does help the channel grow, and I sincerely appreciate it. I have a link to my Patreon down below. If you haven't checked it out, maybe consider giving it a quick browse. If you've been painting along, you'll have access immediately to every single painting video of this season so that you don't have to wait for these weekly YouTube drops. No pressure, no harm if not, but I'm just throwing it out there so that you know that you don't have to wait every week if you don't want to. Anyway, shout out to my patrons. I appreciate every single one of you. I don't know if I already shouted you out in this video, but if I did, there's a second one, so you're welcome. Just in case it wasn't clear how much I appreciate you guys. That's going to do it for this week. We'll catch you next week on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. See you.